Good morning and Happy New Year. I am going to get started on a video for seafood gumbo. I know I did a video for regular gumbo, but seafood gumbo is prepared totally different. So stay tuned. Okay, let's get started. Let's start off with our half a cup of oil, as we usually do for gumbo. And then what we're going to add into there is our half a cup of flour. Now, you remember when you're making gumbo, oh, that's a cup of flour, and you're making your roux, you constantly stir. You constantly stir your roux. So what I'm going to do, because what you use is equal parts of oil into equal parts of flour. And I put a cup of flour, so I'm going to add another cup of oil, a half a cup of oil, which will give me a cup of flour and a cup of oil. So, remember, you don't want this to burn, so you have to keep stirring it until it turns chocolate brown, if you remember from our last video. So you could see what it's doing now, and I'm going to keep stirring it until we get our desired color, and then I'll be back. Okay, so as you can see, it has gotten to that nice chocolate consistency. I'm trying to show you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep stirring, and I'm going to add in to this my vegetables. So what I did earlier is I chopped up my bell peppers, onions, and celery and garlic. And as I said, they said the darker your roux, the more richer your gumbo. So I can see that this is starting to heat up. So what I'm going to do right now is add my chopped vegetables in here. Remember, this is strictly seafood gumbo. I'm going to change to a spoon. Okay, and these are my vegetables that I chopped up earlier. And to this, I'm going to add my vegetables. I'm adding my vegetables in, and I'm going to stir them around so that they can become translucent and cook. I'm going to keep stirring. I hope you can see this. Vegetables are all good and cooked. And to this, since I'm making a seafood gumbo, I'm going to add seafood stock. Not chicken stock, not beef stock, but seafood. Okay, so add my seafood stock and give it a good stir. I'm going to turn this on to back burner. Okay, so I think I'll add more. Let's add some more seafood stock. And you can make your own seafood stock from cooking really fish heads. My auntie used to make seafood gumbo, and she would make her own fish stock for her gumbo, and she'd do that by just boiling the the fish heads. So I'm adding all of my fish stock here. You can add 2 of these, and then it depends on the size pot you're using, because it is going to cook down. Okay, so I just added 2 32 ounces of seafood stock. Okay. So to that, I'm going to add like 2 bay leaves. Really 2 1/2, 3. And to that, I'm going to add my seafood seasoning. I mean my gumbo seasoning. And then we're going to give that a stir. And then to that, I'm going to add some gumbo filet. Boy, that gave me the sneezes. So let me find my gumbo filet. Okay, so I'm going to add probably 2 spoons of the gumbo filet, which last time I told you gumbo filet is nothing but sassafras, and what it does is it thickens. So, because we're making seafood only gumbo, and you don't have to cook your seafood a long time in the pot. You don't have to cook your seafood a long time. What I'm going to do is put this on the back burner, and I am going to let it cook for an hour. And then at that point, I'll be back and we can add in our seafood. Okay, so our gumbo roux has been boiling for about an hour. So since we're doing seafood only, it's time to put the seafood in. As you can see how rich the broth is. Very beautiful. So what I'm going to do is add my seafood, and I'm going to let it cook for another 15 minutes because seafood doesn't take a long time to get done. So I'll go ahead and put this on that. My seafood, I put it in a bag and I marinated it in seasonings. So it's all in there. I'm going to give it a stir, and as I said, it's all seafood. There's nothing else in here but seafood. I have to take out some of that juice. It's a lot of juice in there. Okay, so let's take out some of this roux. Because there's a lot in there, and I don't want it to overboil, but yet and still, I want to save the juice. So what I'm going to do is put it into a pot. Okay, so oh, I took some seafood out, but okay. What I'll do is maybe continue to cook this in another pot. Okay, so when I say there's all seafood, there's crab, shrimp, there's oysters, there's fish, as in what do you call it? Red snapper. So what I'm going to do is put this on for 15 minutes because, like I said, it's seafood and you don't need to cook it until your shrimp is rubbery. Okay. So let's let it cook and I'll be back. Okay, let's take a look. It's been cooking for 15 minutes. And as you can see, our seafood has released its juices. Our shrimp is all cooked. And it's not rubbery because we didn't leave it in. I have, what else is in here? Just various seafood. It's like a seafood mix. And it's all ready to go. Because like I said, because of the mix. This is our fish. There's, what do you call it? Red snapper. Nice pieces of fish. So what I'm going to do is get ready to plate this up so that you can get a chance to see how it's going to look and taste. Okay, here we go with seafood gumbo. And believe me, we've got a lot of different seafoods in here. And that's all it is seafood. There's no sausage, there's no chicken, but there is scallops, there's shrimp, there's fish, there's all kinds of seafood. Any seafood that you can think of, it's in this gumbo. And it's straight seafoody for real. There's just scallops. All right, let's get a piece of red snapper. And oyster. And also, let's take another bite. Okay, so this is delicious. And as I said, when you're making seafood gumbo, you don't have to cook it a long time because it doesn't take seafood a long time to cook. 15 minutes after the roux is ready and it's done. And the flavor is amazing. Amazing, amazing. I've noticed how because it wasn't cooked a long time, this is the red snapper. Notice how it stayed together. So, thank you for joining me on this video. Like, share, and subscribe. And do yourself a favor, make you some seafood gumbo. All seafood.